No, we're
Can I
not
get a
doing that.
bleh?
Oh, okay. Oh, because you got Emotionless in White
Oh.
jacket on?
You didn't do it.
What?
We'll restart that. I said, can I get a bleh?
I don't know what you want me to do. Anyway.
Bleh back.
Oh, but you can't do the bleh.
You
The bleh, blah, blah.
can. Yeah.
What do you know about philosophy, or what would you consider is your own personal philosophy for life? Just as a broad question.
I don't know if this is really like a philosophy, but just like there's good and bad and everything. It just depends on what you allow into your life and I guess how you react to it.
But that's like a main part of it. Like I would say a good chunk of it would be what you consider good or bad, and how you decide to set up different principles and habits to follow in the footsteps that you think is the best and most righteous and just way to live your life.
And what would you say your philosophy is?
I think people make their philosophy as they go. So that's why, even though I really like Stoicism, I really like to read other philosophies as well, because they kind of all touch base on the same kind of principles of life, but in a different way. One person, one philosopher, one philosophy might resonate with somebody more than a different one. So it's hard to recommend one over the other. And some go about it in different ways. In terms of Stoicism, it's really about self-discipline, like the art and mastery of being the best person you can and setting up things to have self-discipline within yourself. And that's like their whole art, which is awesome. And I think everyone should follow. Everyone should have their own self-disciplines on how they live their life and the values and things that we're going to talk about for how to set that up. You asked how I kind of view philosophy. So I break it down, and this is for anybody who really wants to, I don't know, maybe in tough spots, don't really know where to go in life, things like that. Because I mean, most of us, I'm sure at some point in our life is like, I have no direction, and I don't really know the way in which I want to live my life and the direction I want to go or how to get there. So I think a foundation for anybody to live a good, happy, and fulfilled life is really to build a solid philosophy for yourself, because it's basically your guiding posts for how you want to live. Like, when decisions come up, when things happen, because you've already set these guidelines and rules for yourself. Whenever a tough choice comes up, you're going to know which way you want to go, either left or right. And it's really kind of surprising how you might just kind of flow into what either you were meant to be, what maybe if you had no idea what you wanted to do, you might accidentally just come into that by following just simple principles that you set up within yourself, because you're basically guiding yourself in the manner in which you want to live. So you start to attract the things that you feel are of value and are just in your life. Therefore, you're going to start to draw those things closer to you, which ultimately might change into you being able to discover what you were meant to do.
Okay. But basically what you're saying is what, like law of attraction? Like what you put out is what you're receiving? Is that what you're...
I wouldn't say it's necessarily law of attraction. That's definitely part of it. But like I just said, it gives you the foundation to guide yourself in a certain way that necessarily you're not attracting those things, but because you're making certain decisions based on how you live your life, those things just might be along the way because you've already set yourself up to go in a certain direction.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So if I were to ask you, what do you value? What would you say are the top 5 things that you value in your life?
Time.
Okay.
Family. friends.
You can do as many as you want. It doesn't have to be 5.
Okay, I'm gonna do the 3 then.
Okay.
Those are solid.
So you said what?
Time, family, and friends.
Why do you value those 3?
Time is very limited. You don't know how much of it you do have, or the people that you care about around you have. One of the biggest things that you could give somebody is your time.
Mm-hmm.
And then family and friends. Love my family. And good friends are good company. And it kind of goes into, I guess, the time aspect too, on just like people that I would want to share my time with and who I want to surround myself with.
Yeah, and it's a reciprocal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since you value time a lot and you value your own time,
Mm-hmm.
you assume that people should value your time. You value your friends for whatever reasons that you do, but you in turn seek the friends that value the same type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a reciprocal thing for all of your for what you value.
Well, it's a new year, so what is on your top? What is that?
She had a stroke mid video.
Stroking out. Yeah. What is at the top of your list
For values
this year? I guess
I value time more than anything, because you get to a certain point where you realize you live the longest, shortest life. You feel like
very true.
It's really weird. As a kid, you feel like time is taking forever, like to get to summer, like you want school to be over, and you think it's really, really long, and then you get to a certain age, and then you're like, dude, these years are flying by.
It's funny. I heard, I can't remember where I heard it from, but I heard that like when you're a kid, time seems to almost kind of fly by because you're constantly like learning new things. Like you're learning how to like ride a bike, you're learning how to swim, and these are like big moments in your life, and you're just like, it just seems like time is flying by. But then once you're like older, you kind of like, there's nothing, big events like that is, you don't get them as often as like when you're a kid and you're discovering like the world, and so when you're older, then it's like you almost fall into a routine, and big life events almost seem far and few in between. So then you feel like time is just going by really slow.
I also think that just depends on how you have set up your life and view life.
Sure.
I mean, someone that I follow a lot is Gary Vee, and he always says like, don't hate Mondays, because everyone loves the weekend. Like don't live
Mondays.
Don't like don't live your life for the weekend. If you think about it, if there's 7 days a week and you live your life for the weekend, 2 days out of the 5, and you're just miserable the other 5,
you're just coasting through the 5.
Yeah, you're coasting through like 80% of your life, and you hate the 80% of your life. Going on that, do you feel as you get older, time goes slower?
I mean, right now, about to turn 27, I feel like my 20s have, once I hit 25, I feel like I am just getting older so fast.
Say that to somebody who's like 40 or 50. I'm sure they're like, dude, you have a ton of time ahead of you.
I'm sure. Yeah. I guess the whole COVID thing too, like really coming out of it now, we're 3 years now, like after everything. And it feels like everybody definitely lost like a good 2 solid years where they were just stuck inside, couldn't do it.
True.
Yeah. So, and those are 2 years in my 20s. So I'm just like, damn, almost.
lost my prime years.
Yeah. But like, I think so. I don't think like I'm getting old. Like I don't think I'm old, but to like think back on with COVID, like essentially you almost lost like 2 years of your life, time right there, that like, and you could do a lot in 2 years, and it's because you were so limited on what you did. So
definitely. So I mean, I think it's interesting. I always thought when I was younger, time dragged. Like my days dragged, the weeks dragged, to get to summer dragged.
Well, when you're a kid, you just can't wait to be 18 because that's when you think.
I never thought that, though. No, I never thought that. I was just
like,
so
I'm going to turn 18. I'm going to move out of the house. Then I'm going to.
And then you turned 18 and you're like, I'll heat up that ramen. and stay my ass in bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I always thought time dragged, and I never wanted to be like 18 or 21 or anything. I just enjoyed sports and hanging out with friends. But moving on.
Yes. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So other than what do you value, the next question to really ask yourself to build a good philosophy and foundation is, what do you believe?
Okay.
And it's a very open-ended question. So if I were to ask you, what do you believe in terms of how to live your life on what you believe?
I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning. Like, there's good and bad in everything.
Okay. So your whole thought on beliefs is just good and bad. So let me ask you this then. If your belief, or if your only conception of beliefs is between good and bad, how about the belief of capabilities? Do you believe you're capable of certain things? Do you believe you're not capable of certain things?
Yes. Yes and yes.
Okay. That also plays a huge role in it, no? Wouldn't you think? If you're going to build the way you live your life, what you believe you can do would play a massive role in how you would set up your life, or what you think you can and can't do. I mean, what you believe is good and bad is also really important, but what you believe is even possible to do is a whole different thing. No one thought it was possible to fly. No one thought it was possible to go to space. No one thought a lot of these things were even thinkable, let alone that they believed that they could do them. So what you believe about yourself, I think, is also, if not more important than what you think good or evil is. And then the last one is going to be, who do I want to help? How do you want to solve bigger problems than just yourself? Help someone across the street. Hold open the door for somebody. Give somebody a smile. I mean, it's small gestures. It doesn't have to be, I want to start a charity and help 10 million people.
Okay.
But you can always start small. I mean, I'm sure there's so many people out there, like, you give them a smile, it would change their day. Give them a compliment, say that they look nice.
I do that too all the time.
And look at that, my day has changed. But you didn't do it today, so it's not changed. You said I look like shit today.
No, I don't.
But yeah. So it's just, who do you want to help? I mean, I think you can always start off by helping anybody. You can always do anything, but if you really wanted to push it to an extreme, to always do something bigger. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's how
Wow.
and that's how you can set up to live the most excellent life.
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
Thank you, Sandy. But yeah, I would say that's basically your philosophy for how to live life. 3 simple questions, and just always try to follow the answers to those questions whenever you make decisions.
Do you want to do a repeat of the 3 main questions? Just to wrap it all up?
Go. Rapid fire, 3 questions. Go.
Oh, like what your philosophy is, like how you live? What your values are?
There we go.
Your service. Your service?
2.
Yeah.
3. What's third?
I thought those were 3. What was the third?
That's
What was
like
the third
you
one?
weren't even paying
I
attention.
was. What is the third one?
What do you value? What do you believe?
Believe.
What do I value? What do I believe?
I thought that was like.
How do I want to
Yeah.
help, or who do I want to help?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Like and subscribe.
Click that button down below.
The big boy bell.
Yeah.